Hello students, welcome to EKALAVYA IIT JEE Maths Academy. In this session, we are going to discussing about the JEE Mains previous year questions and the topic is integral calculus. Students, from this chapter we will get 3 to 4 questions in JEE Mains. So let us start with the first question. In is equal to integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx, then limit n approaches to infinity n into I suffix n plus I suffix n plus 2 is equal to dash. So this is the question. If In is equal to integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx, then limit n approaches to infinity n into I suffix n plus I suffix n plus 2 is equal to dash. So now first of all I am taking this in plus 2 I suffix n plus I suffix n plus 2 which is equal to in is what? Integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx plus integration of 0 to pi by 4 I suffix n plus 2. So which means in the place of n we need to substitute n plus 2. So then it become tan power n plus 2x dx. So which is equal to integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx plus tan power n plus 2x dx. We can also write integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx into tan square x dx, which is in the form of a power m plus n. A power m plus n is equal to a power m into a power n. I wrote here tan power nx into tan square x dx. Now which is equal to integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx plus integration of 0 to pi by 4 this tan power nx as it is. Now this tan square x we can also write secant square x minus 1 into dx. So by using the trigonometric identity, secant square x minus tan square x is equal to 1. Secant square x minus tan square x is equal to 1. So from this tan square x is equal to, we can also write secant square x minus 1. Now if we can observe here 0 to pi by 4 tan power x into secant square x, if we can multiply tan power nx minus 1. So what we get here, integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx plus I am multiplying this integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx into secant square x minus integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx dx. Now these two terms gets cancelled. Now we have only integration of 0 to pi by 4 tan power nx secant square x dx. So now how we can integrate this? So we have the formula integration of f of x whole power n into f dash of x dx, which is equal to f of x whole power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. So integration of f of x whole power n into f dash of x dx, which is equal to f of x whole power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. Now which is in the form of tan power nx na f of x is the tan x power n and f dash of x is what? Secant square x. F dash of x is what? Secant square x. Now which is we can also write tan power n plus 1 x upon n plus 1 the limits 0 to pi by 4. So if we can substitute the limits, we get tan pi by 4 now 1 by n plus 1 minus 0, which is equal to 1 by n plus 1. Now from this denominator I am taking n as common. Now 1 divided by n into 1 plus 1 by n. So left side we already have in plus 2. Now I am taking a limit on both sides, limit n approaches to infinity. This n also I am transposing left hand side. Then we get n into in plus 2, which is equal to limit n approaches to infinity 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by n. So which is equal to, if we can substitute infinity here, we get 1 by infinity. 1 by infinity is 0. 1 by 1 plus 0 is 1. So the answer is 1. The second question is integration of 0 to root 2 step x square dx is equal to dash. So this is called step function or integral part function. Integral part function. So what is a step function? Suppose I am taking 3.542. 3.542. So where 3 is called integral part and 542 after decimal number. 542 is called decimal part. 3 is called integral part. After the decimal 542, which is called decimal part. Suppose if you want to find step of 3.542 now, we can take only integral part alone. Which is equal to 3. Suppose I want to find step of 0.999, which is equal to 0. Step of 54.328, which is equal to 54. Why? Because integral part is 54. Here integral part is 0. Here integral part is 3. So we should take only integral parts alone. Now see here 0 to root 2. 0 to root 2 is the given limits 0 and root 2. So in between we have I am taking the number 1. So 1 we have in between 0 to root 2. Now if we can observe, if we can take any number in between 0 to 1. So if we can take any number in between 0 to 1, if we can substitute in this step x square. So given function is step x square. So if we can take any number in between 0 to 1, if we can substitute here, we get always which is 0. Suppose in between 1 to root 2, if we can take any number, if we can substitute in this step function, we get which is always is equal to 1. If we can take any number in between 0 to 1, if we can substitute in this step x square function, we get always 0. In between 1 to root 2, in the limits 1 to root 2, if we can take any number, if we can substitute in step x square, we get always which is equal to 1. So this is become 0, and here integration of 1 to root 2 with the limits 1 to root 2. So I am skipping this 0 to 1. The reason is which is equal to 0. So but in between 1 to root 2, we have 1. This step x square become 1 into dx. So which is equal to x, integration of dx is the x with the limits 1 to root 2, which is equal to root 2 minus 1. After substituting limits, we get the answer is square root of 2 minus 1. So next question is integration of 0 to 10 pi modulus of sin x dx is equal to dash. Integration of 0 to 10 pi modulus of sin x dx is equal to dash. So now this integration of 0 to 10 pi, we can also write 10 into integration of 0 to pi and this modulus of sin x. So in between the interval 0 to 180 degrees, from first quadrant to second quadrant, 0 to 180 degrees, the mod sin x is always positive in between 0 to 180 degrees. So I am taking only sin x dx. I am removing this modulus. The reason is in the interval 0 to 90, 90 to 180. I mean 0 to 180 degrees. In first quadrant, second quadrant, the sin x is always positive. 0 to 180 degrees, sin x is always positive. That's what I am taking sin x dx. So now this integration of 0 to 10 pi, we can also write 10 into integration of 0 to pi sin x dx. Now 10 into Integration of sin x is minus cos x and the limits are 0 to pi. So, minus I am taking outside, minus 10 into cos x 0 to pi, which is equal to minus 10 into, if we substitute the limits, cos pi minus cos 0. Now, which is equal to minus 10 into cos pi, cos 180 is minus 1, cos 0 is 1, which is equal to 20. So, the correct answer is 20.